All right, y'all. We are the second day of playing around with this headrest thing. The risers that I showed you, they were laid out on that aluminum. We cut them all out, and I tried bending all four sides in. It didn't work out so swell. So what I did is with the second one, I bent the two sides and I cut the front and the back off, and I gave the parts to Rich, and he took them to work today and welded them. The first one where I bent both sides down. First, you have to bend that return that we're going to put the Riv-Nuts in to hold it on. Then you'd bend it first here, and we had a 3/4 inch return on either side, and then you could bend these bends. We brought those down. That was easy enough. Getting something up inside of here, just that wide, being able to clamp it tight to bend this after we bent this flange was really a pain in the rear. What I got it bent. The problem was this leg, this panel ended up being longer than these panels. So we ended up having to cut it off. And Richie had to weld those in as well. And the front, I never bothered to try to bend the front because it hadn't worked already. I didn't want to do any more damage than I already had. So the one that's going on my car will probably be the one that's all welded up. The one that's going to go on this one, I think, is just going to have the four corners welded up. So what we're working with today is we got Richie's helmet back there because his helmet is smaller than mine, right? He's medium, I'm large. He's 7 1/8, and mine is 7 1/2 or something. Bell numbers, I can't remember, but they are, I mean, you put them right next to each other, and mine is much bigger because I got to make a bigger brain, man. That's all there is to it. It's all brain, right? It's not air up in there. Stop it. So, what we did is we went to the photos, and what we got here is Rich's helmet with the photo as set up as close as we can. It might need to be kicked up at the chin just a little more, but it looks, that's about as close as we're going to be able to get with an eyeball, right? And why am I doing all this? So we can take what we did is we altered the pattern, right? We put a little top on it, and we can always cut it off if we don't like it. Put little marks on it where we wanted to eventually start bending, because you really only get one shot at this. Once you start in the deep center, which is where you're going to have to start bending, and you start bending your way out, you can't go back and bend some more. It won't fit. It won't fit in the vise. So we were garring up the inside. It's going to get the foam, but the outside still looks pretty good. So the idea is to get this thing fitting here, and we're not going to get it the exact same distance from the helmet everywhere because we know that big middle part there is flat still inside that triangle, right? It's still dead flat. So what we're probably going to do is we'll go to the foam factory, and we'll probably get some like 1-inch, pretty relatively stiff foam, and we'll glue it on real good, and then we'll just start forming it. We'll use the 90 and a abrasive disc and remove, so we'll form fit it, as best we can. That's where we'll go from there. I like this little added piece. Actually, we wanted to make it a bit long. We really wanted to make it wide at the top, but it would have caused it even more havoc getting this thing to rotate and bend. So not too bad. This is my first attempt at really bending this thing. Once you understand angles and which way things are going and stuff, it's really pretty simple. What I did is I marked out what I wanted to do and bent the first side. And then I took, I put a dot on the bottom and the top where they connected, obviously, and then took it right over to the template and put those marks right on the template. And then I could transfer them to the other side. So we're bending them. It's not going to be exactly the same, but it gets you real close. So that's it. Well, one down, one to go. I think at this point, we don't probably do any final tweaking and tuning until we get Richie back here with the metal piece bolted down. This thing with the Riv-Nuts in the back bolted up. Even if we just stick a piece of padding in between and not really glue it down, so to speak. And then we'll go from there. That way, if see if we put 1/2-inch padding. Ooh, careful, Bubby. If we put 1/2-inch padding all the way through this thing, and it wasn't touching here, or it wasn't touching here. There's spots where it's not. It doesn't need to touch everywhere, but we don't want to have big gaps, right? So, we would go with 1 inch instead of 1/2 inch, and then tune it. Like I said, we could leave it a 1/2 inch here, and then it needed to be 1 inch here, or we can start tuning this thing some more too. Really, all that fine tuning needs to be done once we get a human being here. With mine, it's going to be tougher because I have to tune it from all those pictures that Rich took with my phone. And we did get a bunch. Let me show you. Let's see if we can get this thing. Look, there's Brooklyn and Braden. So that was Rich. All my photos are this way. That's looking straight down on mine, looking in from my right side, looking in to where the angled piece is. We're really just indexing at this point. We don't want it jammed into my back. So he's giving me an idea how much room I have to mount something to hold the water, the expansion tank up. Nowhere near my headrest. So there he goes with the tape measure. Some more pictures. I'm relatively flat. Mine isn't really looking up all that much. And I did have him put 2 pieces of 2x4 in there, which is probably, like I said, more than I'm going to need. It literally did kind of feel like it was wanting to pull the helmet off my head. But I wanted to make sure I was looking down, flat down as much as possible. When I bent mine, the first one that got bent wrong, I actually made it a little shorter so I could either put multiple layers of foam on or thicker foam. We'll tune that in. That's what we're going to do, is really fine-tune the lift of the riser and the attitude of the helmet, and then, of course, any air gaps in the backrest of the helmet, all with foam, because you can just, knock it right down. You can grind it right off. So that's where we're at. We're playing around with this today. We got the rear bumper in the works. It was like an Emic type bumper, I guess. It was just between the frame rails bumper. It wasn't wide enough. So we're gonna widen it out. We're gonna hook it up same way we did with the Nerf bars. We'll put some flat round stock inside and weld on. I think because the tube has been pinched down and beat up so much with pipe mounts and what have you, they just tightened the pipe mounts down and just destroyed them. It's no big deal. I can just take it over to Rich's sandblast this flake and chrome off. We'll end up just flat black spray rattle cannon it, right? Spray bombing it. It doesn't need to be viewed. It's not going to a car show or nothing. So we'll either add a piece in the middle, or we'll cut it here and then make one new piece all the way across. It just depends on how we feel. But didn't really want to look at doing this type of mounting where you've got to get some type of expanding rubber deal in here. So when you tighten the bumper down, it expands and it keeps it from coming out. It keeps it from acting like a torsion bar and tightening up the cart. But it's kind of loosey-goosey. You really can't grab the cart by the bumper and lift because it's not really taut. I mean, it helps when you put these kind of things on, same way we did here, right? It'll be the same type of apparatus. But so that's what we got going. We got bumper going, finishing up the headrest stuff. Rich is bringing both those parts home today, so we'll be able to get that stuff going. It doesn't look like we're going to make Nelson. I really have been holding out hope that we were going to get to go. Looking to put you somewhere here. How about right here on top of the steering wheel in the toolbox? I was really hoping we were going to get to go and at least take the 4-banger, and get it shook down. But it's just too many things that we want to get done. I really want to put a floor tray on it before shaking it down. But the pods aren't done. Now I can make the floor tray fit the footprint when the pods will be done, because we have mock-ups, right? That isn't an issue. I'd have to make the floor tray, which means today's Monday, the what is it? The 19th, 20th? Monday the 20th, July 20th. And so, I mean, literally, Well, I could work on it till Friday. I could even load it up Saturday and go out Saturday and do my practicing and running on it on Sunday if I mean, to buy me as much time as I need. And that's not out of the question. We're not going to call it off until we're not going. But it doesn't look real good at this point. We can get a bumper going. We can get this headrest thing squared away. Moving the pedals back down for me, a piece of cake. We have to drill 4 bolts that hold the front master cylinders together and wire them because we didn't intend to run it at a race, you know, so that stuff didn't need to be wired. And we still need a chain guard, which is, again, simple enough. Bust out one of Sherry's frying pans and start chopping her up, you know what I mean? So, piece of cake, right? 5-minute jobs, right, JW? So that's it. We'll get you up to date on what we're doing. We're not going to give up until it's too, you know, until there's no time left, but we're not holding our breath at this point. We want to get it out there, but if we don't, we don't. I know when the new GoPro camera shows up on Wednesday or Thursday, that'll motivate me to get her going. Love y'all. God bless. Hang in there. Be safe. Stay away from the riots. We'll talk to y'all later. Go racing, man.